Thank you, Chairman Levin, and I have to mention my friend Chairman Rangel there on your right, that because we had worked on this in the past, as you well know.
We do.
Chairman Levin and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify here today. Let me begin by telling you something my father once told me. He said, "Son, a fool with a plan can beat a genius with no plan." And he and my mother were worried at that point that they were raising a fool that had no plan. America has not had an energy plan for 40 years. Every president since Richard Nixon has pledged to reduce our dependence on foreign oil. President Obama has pledged to eliminate our dependence on OPEC oil in 10 years. And we can do that. Not easy, but we can do it. And if we do, President Obama will be the only president to have made good on that promise. We're witnessing the greatest transfer of wealth in human history, sending more than $1 billion a day to foreign countries for oil. Not only that, but because this committee has jurisdiction over trade, I know you'll be interested in this. In January 2010, our trade deficit for the month was $37 billion. $27 billion of that money was spent on overseas to import oil. That means foreign oil is responsible for approximately 3/4 of our trade deficit. When do we stop investing in OPEC and start investing in America? Doing so with the plan I have outlined and spent a good deal of time and money, energy promoting, will enhance the economy, improve the environment, and resolve the national security threat inherent in our dependence on foreign oil, much of it from OPEC and many nations who don't have our best interest at heart. The Pickens plan has 1.6 million members. They're the new energy army, and they're with me here today watching this hearing on the Internet. We have to go American. For power generation, that means renewables like wind and solar, nuclear, natural gas, and clean coal. I'm for anything that's American. 2/3 of our foreign oil is used as transportation fuel. Building more nuclear plants or more solar or wind farms will not make a dent in dependence on foreign oil. However, they will help. Not on foreign oil, though. The only way we can solve the OPEC oil threat is by replacing their expensive, dirty fuel with cleaner, cheaper American natural gas. Natural gas or anything else that is American. Ethanol, anything American, I'm for. Study after study shows we're awash in natural gas. We have well over 200-year supply by current estimates. We're going to look like fools if we don't use natural gas for transportation. You have the legislation, the Natural Gas Act, H.R. 1835. It will provide tax credits to fleet owners to offset the cost of going to natural gas trucks as they retire existing vehicles. The best group outside of the Marines I think if we start out to give a mission in America to some group, the best group you could give it to would be the Marines. The Marines are not available for this mission, but this mission could be carried out by America's truckers. I think America's truckers look like Marines. Give them a job and they'll do it. If you members of Congress point out the way, if you point the way, then we'll start to solve our foreign oil problem. Let's dismiss two concerns I hear over and over. First, government doesn't have a role in this. Let the free markets work, they say. If you think OPEC is a free market, you're a sap. China is using state-owned banks to finance state-owned oil companies to lock up decades of oil production all over the world, including Iraq. And this really does annoy me. That we went to Iraq 8 years ago, we spent $1.5 trillion. We got 31,000 of our people injured and 5,000 were killed. And we left Iraq with nothing that I can see. But who got the oil? China. China didn't put a dime into that. They did not lose one person. And they are going to develop 2 oil fields in Iraq One is the largest oil field in Iraq, which is Ramallah. It's 15 billion barrels. The largest oil field we've ever had in America is at Prudhoe Bay on the Arctic coastal plain, 14 billion barrels. So they're going to be given a field that is as large as the largest oil field America ever had, and we leave there with nothing. Second, the skeptics say there's no natural gas fueling infrastructure. Forget it. Let's look at our free enterprise system. If you create the market, the private sector will build it. Can you imagine what would have happened if we had told Henry Ford, forget about building the Model T, there's no filling stations? It's easy. That part is the easy part. The resource is the hard part, and we have the resource. This is a hearing about jobs. There's a lot of talk about the green economy leading the 21st century. We estimate the Natural Gas Act will put 236,000 clean natural gas trucks on the American roads. You will displace 5% of the foreign diesel demand each year and create more than 600,000 new permanent jobs, roughly the same number of temporary jobs created for the 2010 census. Each Class 8 truck, identify Class 8, that's a heavy-duty 18-wheelers. Class 8, the heaviest of heavy-duty, converted to natural gas, creates 6 jobs. Each truck creates 6 jobs. This is just the start of it. The worst thing you can do is, and I know this came up in a meeting I was in today, but don't tax the industry at this point. It's not time to tax the domestic oil industry. If you want to tax something, tax either foreign oil or tax gasoline, but do not take away from this industry and this country at a critical time when we're trying to get off of OPEC oil and get on our own resources. I urge you, your action, and want to close with this. The best time to plant a tree, if we ever talk about it, anybody, and we all do about trees, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. No question, and I've said that, and you have too. I should have planted the tree 20 years ago. But just in case you didn't plant it, and we do not have an energy plan in America and haven't had for 40 years. So if you didn't plant the tree 20 years ago, the second best chance to do it is today. We have got to have an energy plan for this country. We cannot go, I'm running out of time. I'm 82 years old next month. And I've got to get the energy plan fixed for America, because we cannot leave this to generations in the future. My grandchildren and great-grandchildren, I've got 13 of them, that I can't go out of here without having an energy plan, and we have the resources. We have the resources. All we have to do is a plan, and you have to introduce it to America, and I promise you we can carry it out. Thank you.